Hey everybody, welcome to part 4 of our series on prayer. I've got a short story for you, and then we're going to talk about a couple verses in the book of John chapter 3. So let me start with the story. The story is about 4 years ago. I was spending a whole lot of time in prayer, about 7-8 hours a morning for about a year. Yeah, I mean, that's got a whole nother story behind it, but here's the point. When you're spending 7-8 hours a morning in prayer, you cannot do all the talking. You have to let God do some talking, because I don't know anybody. I mean, there's people, but I can't talk that long, especially in prayer, eyes closed, on my knees, whatever, right? So let God do a lot of the talking too. And here's one of the experiences that I had. You can call it a vision, a picture from God, etc. But I was up in heaven, and I was walking a hallway in heaven, and there was doors on either side. It was like a really nice office building or a really nice hotel hallway, something like that, right? And God the Father was walking with me, and we opened a door on the right side and walked in, and he stood at the doorway. He stayed at the doorway. I walked in, and it was a gold room. I mean, there was a table, there was a couple tables, there was a couple bookshelves, and then just the floor and the walls, and everything was gold. And the only thing in there on the bookshelves and on the tables, the only thing really in there was a bunch of trophies, gold trophies. And I walked in, I looked at the trophies, and on the trophies, my name was on all the trophies. They were all my trophies. And every trophy was something different that I'd done in my life, that maybe I was proud of, or that I thought would make me kind of, loved by God or worthy. So there was, being a missionary in Taiwan for 7 years, being a missionary in Argentina and Brazil for 2 months, getting my MBA even, just accomplishments, different things like that. And I remember I looked back at the Father, and he was in the doorway, and he didn't say anything, but I understood what he was thinking or saying, right? Our spirits talked. And he said to me, "You didn't have anything to do with any of this." And I said, I was kind of like, "Did I hear you right?" I mean, like, what? And he said, "You didn't have anything to do with any of this." And I said, "Yeah, no." I said, "I know you're God, you're in control, it's, by your grace, but, come on, you're my co-pilot, right? Like it was 50-50, or I had something to do with it, right?" He said, "No, nothing, 0%, not 1%, 0%. But it wasn't mean. It wasn't harsh. It was freeing. It was God saying, look, this struggle, this ongoing struggle just to be worthy, this ongoing struggle to be good enough or whatever it is. He said, you can never be good enough because you can never do anything. He says, all by my grace. It's all by my power. It's all by my spirit. It's not by you, right? Anything you do, anything you accomplish is totally because I've allowed it. I mean, you're alive and breathe because I allow it." And then in a thought, not a word, in a thought, he just wiped it all away, and no longer were we in a gold room. There was nothing gold or anything like that. It was an amazing, beautiful garden with a river, a little stream kind of going through it with a little waterfall behind it, and just almost like the hanging gardens, and beautiful flowers, all this. And he and I went over and we sat by the river, and we just started talking. And I don't know what we said. I was watching this like a movie. I could see the scene. And the thought was, this is all I want with you, from you, to have with you, this relationship. And that was the end of it. But it was powerful. It was powerful, especially because of the time in my life when the vision happened, or when I saw that picture, because obviously I was struggling with things like that. And so it was very freeing. It was something that I've held on to for 4 years. So we're talking about prayer on part 4. And the verses that we're going to talk about are John 3:30, which most of you know John 3:30, and then John 3:27. 3:30, John says, he's got to become greater and greater, and I've got to become less and less. Well, John 3:27 says, no one can receive anything unless God gives it to him from heaven. No one can receive anything unless God gives it to him from heaven, that was my vision, right? Right? Nothing from me. And but here's the deal. I used to think of John 3:30 as, okay, yeah, God, you're great and I'm not. You're great and I'm not. But that's not true. I mean, we're the Mona Lisa, right? I mean, he's Leonardo da Vinci and we're the Mona Lisa. So we're awesome. I mean, God made us. Don't put yourself down because you're putting down the maker. You're putting down the artist, right? So we're awesome. I'm not saying that. That's not what the verse means. What the verse means is the only good things, it says no one can receive anything unless God gives it to him from heaven. Well, that doesn't mean anything like anything, because bad things can come from other places. But only the good things, all good and perfect gifts come from the Father of heavenly lights, right? So all the great things come down from God, from heaven. What John's saying is, and we're going to apply it to prayer, let's turn up the volume on God and turn down the volume on us. Turn up the volume on God, turn down the volume on us. Let's give God more time, more airtime, and give us a lot less airtime in prayer. Let's do a lot more listening. Right now, it's got to be in line with the Bible, right? Because you might be like, well, how do I know if God's saying it or I'm saying it? Well, you got to take it a step at a time, and that's maybe a separate video and teaching that we do. But the only thing I want to tell you right now is say, in your prayer time, work to give God more of the time, because I could never come up with that vision on my own, right? God can speak things. Look, he wants to have a relationship with us. A relationship is not just a one-way street. So he wants to speak to us. And there's a lot more to all this. But my only point today is give God more airtime. Turn up his volume, turn down yours. Give him more airtime. Give you less. Because he's got so many wonderful things that he wants to say to you, to encourage you, to guide you, to lead you, to empower you, to do all the things that he wants to do in and through you for the rest of your life, right? To glorify him and bless the kingdom. So anyway, that's what we got today. Look forward to talking to you with part 5 of our prayer series very soon. Thanks. Bye.